All right, what up, everybody? It's week 17, fantasy football finals, or as Anthony says, best ball finals. Anything else? It's
Yes.
DFS. There's lots of stuff going on. Week feels half over already, which seems crazy. But let's go. Right? If you're watching on YouTube, stay. If you're on Twitter, jump over to YouTube. Discord will probably be answering some questions too, or just post on Twitter. How's everyone doing? Anthony, what's up?
Oh, just happy to be here. Fantasy's been good to me this year. I'm in a couple finals. Also have a couple week 17 best ball teams still going, sweating out some big money there. So hoping help you all be as successful as I apparently have been this
year. There you go. Humble brag. I don't even know if it was that humble. Nathan, what's going on?
Yeah, not too much. Same as Anthony here, just sweating out a couple championship teams, couple best ball darts still kicking, just seeing how the dice fall with these last few games here.
Yeah. It's a weird week 17 start, right? I guess because they're pumping so many extra games in. I don't remember already. What do we have? 5 games in? It's not normally like this, right, Anthony?
Mm-hmm.
Or Nathan?
We've already got 6. Yeah, we've already got 6 games in. I know. Yeah, there was the 2 Christmas
Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, and then 3 yesterday. So, I mean, normally towards the end of the season, the NFL kind of likes to try to throw some games on Saturdays, at least over the past few years I've noticed. But yeah, the week's already almost half over, it feels like you said. But it's definitely been fun. It kind of helps you today to know, like, if you're projected to, win big now or lose big, it might kind of help you with some decisions you were thinking about. Maybe you need more of a ceiling. Maybe you need more of just a stable floor because you're projected to win big. So it's definitely been an interesting championship week. And then the injuries too, we can talk about all that, but definitely fun so far.
Fun. Yeah. Well, fun's one way to put it. Not if you, start JSN and it's not supposed to rain. I remember I was messaging Larry midway through the game. I was checking the weather. What's going on? He's like, well, your weather app must suck. And I was like, well, that's probably true. 6-3, like, come on. And then I don't know what they got to do with this league because it's like James Conner, right? They clear him. He's supposed to be good. He gets on the field. He plays a couple rushes, 4 yards, 2 catches, and he doesn't play again. I mean, that just seems criminal this time of year.
Yeah, that's tough.
I guess that wasn't really a question, but
no, that's tough. I was going against Connor in a couple of leagues, so but if you have him, that's a brutal blow. He's probably been your rock solid running back 2 all year. So to kind of have a dud in the championship is a bit tough, but maybe now you swing for the fences with your flex.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then, here I got, Juwan Jennings or I got Isaac Orendo, right? But it's a standard league, no PPR. So
that makes it tougher. I would have went Jennings for sure, but the standard league is tough. Nate, what do you think?
I'm sorry, who were the options again?
It was Isaac Orendo and Juwan Jennings, same team, standard league though, so the PPR doesn't count.
Oh, and they're tomorrow night, right? Standard, I'd probably go with Orendo because he was good when he was active, and it's still the Niners rushing attack.
Yeah, Lions rush D's good, but it's kind of been broken down a bit. The defense
still banged up.
Yeah. But it's week 17 is always war of attrition, right? So because people are playing for incentives. Like I think Mike Evans is in a nice little spot today. But the Dolphins, right? I don't even know how it's so convoluted. The playoffs, they can get in, but does anyone even know the full thing, how it works?
I'm not sure, but 2 is out, so they're probably not going to get in.
Well, that's true, but that's the thing. 2 is out. Waddle's probably out, but people got Tyreek, who's kind of come on lately. He's supposed to play, but what do? Do you play Tyreek? I mean,
that's so tough. I mean, I'm sure they're going to throw, design some touches for him. And he can take a screen to the house 90 yards. So, I mean, it just kind of depends on what your other options are as far as Tyreek Hill goes.
He can, but, he has Huntley, right? We know Huntley sucks. Mm-hmm. Miami's, so. And then also, I think, Nate, your Raiders, they only, just got into town?
Yeah, some plane troubles last night. It looked like that they had to make a last-minute swap for the team plane, and they got into town late, so add a wrinkle of potential downside or a forecast for an already, wobbly offense trying to string things together.
Like, that sounds terrible, right? But it's the Saints. The Saints suck. So what do you do? Bet no touchdown again? Let me pull up Larry's weather report too, because I think that Cleveland Miami game is supposed to be rainy. So Jets Buffalo low to moderate. All right, Tennessee Jacksonville 60% showers. Miami Cleveland high gusty winds. So it's like 50% chance of rain, but warm, but super windy. Same with Falcons at Commanders, moderate to high rain most of the game. It's like
lots of weather today around the country.
Yeah, but we've seen the season, the rain. That rain. Their 2 Thursday games has made it crap. I think we had no touchdowns in both games.
Yeah, no, it's been tough if you've had some big players go, and weather has really just played a factor. It seems like weather hasn't played much of a factor all year, aside from maybe like a game or two. Like I know the one Niners-Rams game, it was kind of a surprise rainstorm. But otherwise, I feel like we've escaped most of the year with a clean bill on the weather front.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, Larry's weather report every week's just been like nothing. I was like, okay, that's good. So what's everyone keeping an eye on this week? Anything jump out? Right, we got a bunch of weird games, weird incentives, weird injuries.
I am keeping an eye. Maybe this is just a biased Giants fan, but I'm keeping an eye on what the Giants and the Eagles do today, and what the Eagles can be set up to do as far as clinching the bye or whatever. A little nervous. Philly clinches the bye this week. They try to mess with the Giants in week 17 and drop us from pick 1 to pick 6. If they've already got the bye wrapped up, I could see something like that happening. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on for the most part. Excuse me, but again, biased Giants fan there. No one else really cares about the race to the bottom.
Do we know who's starting for QB for Philly?
It's going to be Kenny Pickett.
So it is Kenny Pickett? Okay. So, I mean, start A.J. Brown. I don't know. Do you play Devontae? I mean, the Giants suck. Do they just run Saquon 30 times? I mean,
well, they play Giants week 18. They play Dallas this week, but Dallas also sucks. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to run Saquon, I think, a lot. I think you probably still play A.J. Brown. Mm-hmm. Although I don't think he's got like a top 5 ceiling like he does every week. But I think you probably still play him above most any options.
Yeah. Philly, Dallas, yeah. Lamb's out. It's just, fantasy football is always a war of attrition, right? And the guy that's going to swing the league is going to be some guy no one's ever heard of. Like, who's the Carolina running back? Rashad Blackshear or something?
Yeah, he's going to end up being a league winner for people.
Moto, Nate, anything you got your eye on this week? Jumped out at you?
Yeah, I was actually looking at that same game. I think A.J. Brown's still in a smash spot. He got 15 targets from Pickett last week, and he hadn't seen more than 11 from Jalen Hurts all year. He's a guy who can do a lot of work after the catch, and if he's getting a dozen targets against a banged up Giant secondary, he can be a wide receiver 1 before the first half's over, and then just be sat the rest of the way.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's one of those weird things, right? Backup QB comes in, doesn't really make his progressions, has a stud wide receiver. Let's just throw it to him.
I think I'm also interested, just to kind of diversify in teams a little bit. Bryce Young, I want to see if he can keep up the trajectory that Canales has him on. Looks like he kind of took the benching and took the time to learn behind Andy Dalton, who, although didn't perform very well, is still a pretty successful veteran in this league. I'm sure he can teach Bryce Young a lot of things. So I want to see how well he continues to play throughout the rest of the season, especially against a Tampa defense that isn't the best against the pass. I want to see if he can maybe have another big game today.
Okay. Yeah, Brad, he's kind of salvaged his career. Yeah, I was just listening to a pod. Yeah, Carolina's he's been really good against the blitz recently. And even though Tampa's going to want to blitz. But, Nate, what do we do with this rain? We got these 2 games. I'm just staring at this Atlanta Commanders game, which is probably huge fantasy implications because I got Jaden Daniels and Drake London. And now he's saying 90% chance of rain. That's not great. What would you be doing? Would you be looking to sub out? Like I've got Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, right? Would you be looking to make that switch?
I think because Jaden Daniels can do it on the ground too, and with the receiving room being so condensed there, I see Daniels still being a fine start if he can get somewhere north of like 40 to 50 rushing yards and just find the end zone once or twice in that game.
Okay.
I have a Jaden Daniels question
It,
asking for a friend. That might be myself. Now that I know it's supposed to rain in Washington tonight, do you go Sam Darnold or Jaden Daniels?
Right. For me, I'm just like there's the rains. There's been no touchdowns with the rain so far this season. I'm not messing with that. I can't. I don't care how many rushing yards he has. If there's no rain, if there's no touchdowns. So,
yeah,
and then what's the Packers? That game's in Green Bay, right?
That game's in Minnesota, but Minnesota has a dome.
Yeah, the dome. Okay, so it's the dome. Yeah,
Mhm.
but Packers D, I think, is top 5 right now. So that would worry me a bit. But I mean, I'm gonna try and get out of all these rain games. Like, so if I go Garendo in the flex, Drake London, right? That's Atlanta game. Rain, wind. So I should put Juwan Jennings over Drake London. Like, I think it's time to panic.
I don't hate that outcome there. If you're placing 2 bets on the Niners offense and like a potential high scoring affair with Detroit, you're looking at. I think it's a safe pivot if you're looking to get out of the rain there.
Yeah, and then we got Miami, Cleveland. I think Jerry Jeudy. I'd abandon Jerry Jeudy. Like,
Especially with the quarterback situation there, you've got to abandon probably almost all the receivers. Again, Tyreek is kind of on the line because he's just so talented. But yeah, I think you abandon almost everybody else except for the running backs in that Cleveland Miami game.
I should see if Larry's around. Just come on the pod because just come on for 5 minutes and just break it down because I'm just high gusty winds. That's terrifying. Miami, Cleveland. Okay, whatever. And Atlanta, Washington. 90% chance to rain. Not much wind, but I think we saw. Was it the Minnesota? Was it Minnesota, Seattle? I think it was raining last week, or Green Bay, Seattle, and then it didn't end up really mattering. They were throwing the ball all over the field. So it's
I think it was Minnesota, Seattle. And you're right. Yeah, it was raining a bit, but that was still a good game as far as fantasy goes. So I mean, it's so interesting because you never really know what's going to happen and how players can perform in these situations. It's really all guesswork.
Yeah, it really is. But I'd rather take a little haircut, 15-20% haircut on potential, and play a guy with safer weather, even if he might not have as much upside because it's the finals. And I can't take any more goose eggs, right? This final is going to be like first team to 50 at this point. Okay, we let some questions just build up a little bit. So, but we didn't really have a preview this week, but it's not that big a deal with so many games. But Anthony, what's to get everyone in game?
I think to get everybody in game, man, that Atlanta Washington game would have been a good one, but that rain is
for sure.
That would have been the game. I think it's probably either Minnesota, Green Bay, or Detroit, San Francisco. If you had to pick one, it'd probably Detroit, San Francisco over Minnesota, Green Bay. But those are the two that I think you kind of get the most action on. And then if we want to kind of put in a dart throw, get everybody in game. I low-key don't hate Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Really? Okay, they just played each other a couple of weeks ago. It was like 10-6.
Yeah. Too bad offenses, too bad defenses. I mean, it's a sneaky one. It certainly could flop, but I mean, Calvin Ridley has been doing pretty well with Mason Rudolph this season. I think his best games have come with Mason Rudolph. Chiga Okonkwo has had a nice 2 weeks with Mason Rudolph. I mean, Brian Thomas is just quarterback proof, I think, at this point. That game could be sneaky interesting, I think.
Okay. Nathan, what are you? What about the Jets Bills game?
Yeah, I like the Bills a lot in this one, and then on the Jets side of the ball, I'm pretty much just sticking to Devontae Adams for fantasy purposes. I think the matchup is a little tough to count on Rodgers as like a fringe QB1, even though the play's been up the last few weeks.
Bill's defense just gives up 40 points to everyone. I mean,
yeah, The ceiling is there. It's too concentrated for me to like. I'd bank on Devontae Adams getting like 10 targets, 80 yards, and a touchdown versus Rodgers delivering a QB1 performance.
Yeah, that's fair. That's smart.
Do we see a Garrett Wilson squeaky wheel performance? There were some rumblings, him talking to the media, not really calling anybody out, but just kind of low key saying, "Hey, like I want the ball, like throw me the ball."
Ooh, I didn't see that. I like that.
And then I low key do like Brees Hall. The Bills defense isn't very good against running backs, so that should be an interesting game as well, as far as trying to squeeze some folks in. The Bills give up the third most fantasy points to running backs,
especially receiving running backs.
Yeah, so Brees Hall he's kind of been a bit disappointing, I think the past couple of weeks, battling a knee injury. Could surprise people in week 17 and bring you home a championship.
I think week 18 last year, they gave Brees Hall 37 touches. So it's out there. I doubt they gave him that much, but
that's going to be a record. Close to it. 37 touches.
Okay, and then so boom, what do we got? What else we got here? So yeah, let's talk about the Detroit San Fran game. Like, where do you guys have like Garendo? Right, he's back. Would you play Brees Hall or Garendo this week?
I'd probably play Brees Hall.
I'd probably go Garendo. I think it's better offense, higher point total.
I just think Brees Hall is the better back. I think San Francisco kind of been struggling a little bit. Debo is going to get some carries. And again, I just think Brees Hall is the better player, and the matchup is great. And by the way, the record for rushing attempts in a game is 45 by Jamie Morris back in 1988.
Cool. And then what else? So the Niners Lions game is gonna have a lot of implications, right? Like Purdy, like with the Lions D, is Brock Purdy like a top 5 QB?
I don't know if I'd say top 5 this week. I don't know. Especially seeing some of the performances we already got. Like Burrow and Jackson probably stay in the top 5. I don't know that he's going to sneak in the top 5, but that's an excellent Monday Night Miracle game for championship weeks for both sides of the ball. I think Purdy will probably finish in the top 10 though, just to get back to that.
Okay, because would Debo play well? All right, we're gonna get some questions here. We'll let them build up, but you know what? I'm going all in that game. I'm gonna go Goff, Garendo, and Jennings, and just abandon my Sunday. Okay, so let's jump in here. Mr. Magic is never drafting Kupp again. I was on this early. I said Cooper was kind of washed. All he's getting is these little drag routes, just quick outs. He's not getting downfield. He had one catch for 26 yards last week or yesterday. Where is he? You're the wide receiver guy. Where's he next? Is he 5th round pick? Wide receiver 70. Where would you take him next year?
Did you say Nathan or Anthony?
I said Anthony actually,
but Nathan, you're the wide receiver guy.
Right.
So you take it.
Okay. Gotcha. It's hard to place off the top of my head, but I would probably see him fall to the mid rounds, and I think it'd be very warranted. Puka is just dominating first target, like the first read share. If Kupp's not moved, especially, or if there's not any sort of shakeup, if they just run it back next year, Kupp should definitely be downgraded to something 7th, 8th round, 9th round, just because the needle's going to point downward even more as he ages too.
Yeah, so would you take Jacoby Myers or Kupp next year?
Oh, probably Myers,
okay.
Especially if they don't add anyone to that Vegas receiving room.
Okay. Yeah, I think Kupp probably, not to put a round on it, but like a range. Next year's probably drafted in that wide receiver 30 to 40-ish range, like that wide receiver 3-4, I think. Because he's still got some talent. The offense is still good, so he might have some decent games, but I think his run as a high end wide receiver 1 or even 2 is probably come to an end.
Yeah, too bad. All right, Mr. Magic, thank you for the first never Kupp. But all right, Colts D or Philly, stuck all week. So I know Brandon had Colts D as his number 1 against Anthony's poor sad sack Giants.
Oh yeah, I'm doing Colts defense.
Which makes sense because the Colts defense actually was probably the worst defense in the league for the first half season, and then now they're not really getting lit up. They're getting pressure, getting turnovers. I don't know, Nathan. What are we doing here? Because Philly D's elite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is tough. I would probably take Philly just for the safeness and the talent on that side of the ball for them. Even though the Giants' offense is so putrid, the Phillies also getting a matchup without CeeDee Lamb on that side of the ball this week too.
Yep.
Which can even further downgrade that Cowboys offense. So I'd probably rock with Philly.
Okay.
See, I'd go with the Colts. Yeah, I'd go with the Colts defense. I mean, you see all these backup quarterbacks that are playing, Cooper Rush, he can move the offense. They can score some points. I get there without CeeDee Lamb, but he's shown the capability of being able to run an NFL offense. The Giants don't have that quarterback. Drew Lock at this point can't run an offense. Tommy DeVito, if he plays, he was fun last year, can't run an offense this year. I just don't think the Giants are capable of doing anything. Whereas I think even a Cooper Rush-led Dallas team without CeeDee Lamb is capable of doing something. So I would go Indy in a smash play, in my opinion.
No, I'm with Nathan here. For me, it's the home away. Philly at home, right? I think that the crowd's going to be crazy. Dallas has shown they can move the ball, but that's with Lamb, right? Cooper just hyper targets Lamb, and Lamb's been great the last couple of weeks, right? They're not going to probably be able to run on. Dowdle's not going to be able to run on Philly, especially if they get negative game script. I think Cooper's going to be under siege. I think, if Indy was at home,
they're both good plays.
Yeah,
both
they
defenses are good.
If Indy was at home, I'd like them more. But they're not really that good at defense. I'm not sure they travel. You can run on them, right? Tracy could have over 100 yards and then keep the pass rush off. So I'd go Philly. But I mean, yeah, Brandon and Colts C ranked number 1. I mean, you can't go wrong. Who's even starting for the Giants? Is it Lock?
I think it's Drew Lock.
I love that you don't even know. That's how bad they it's just that's just you can put them in a box.
It honestly doesn't matter who's starting. They're both. It's neither one's an upgrade over the other. They're both just bad.
That's true. Neighbors is going to play, right?
Yeah, Neighbors he was listed as probable if they even do that anymore. But I saw he put in a good practice on Friday, and there was a lot of optimism he was going to give it a go.
Yeah, that's just the word. You play Colts D, and the Neighbors has 18. He gets the Breece Hall treatment, right? He gets 22 targets and has 16 grabs, right?
The Philly defense is probably the safer play.
But Colts D is the galaxy brain, right? Because it's terrible offense. But okay, so Matt Carmody's just blowing us up here. All right, full PPR. It seems like we got limited contributors today. My brain doesn't work, so we're gonna give each question a little more depth than we usually do. So full PPR, need a wide receiver and a tight end. Would you start Ridley and Okonkwo on the same team, or go with Jaden Reed, Darnell Mooney, Tucker Kraft? Okay, Anthony, we'll start with you. I think Atlanta, we're just going to rule out Atlanta, Washington guys, right? So Mooney. If it's close, right? If we're close, the weather's going to be.
Yeah, if we're close. And funny enough, I'm starting both Calvin Ridley and Chigo Okonkwo in a championship. I forced to. I'm not really thrilled about it, but I like them both individually this week as fine plays. Ridley is like a flex play, and I like Okonkwo this week as a tight end. I just don't love starting both of them because it's just tough to start both Titans. But I mean, again, I did say that game can be sneaky good, so I wouldn't mind that. If it wasn't raining in Washington, I would probably go Mooney over Ridley. But
what's Ridley done lately? I know he had that blow up earlier. Yeah. I think he scored last week, but I don't know, Nate, where'd you have Ridley this week?
I have him at wide receiver 22. But this is post TNF, so after a few games have been shaved off the rankings.
Let me see. So over the past 3 games for week 14, 15, 16, in half PPR, he scored 9.4, 7.5, 15.3. He's had 12 targets in week 14, 5 and 15 and 16. Scored a touchdown last week. Has had over 40 yards in every game. So, I mean, he's going to put up a couple points.
Yeah, I just think that Jags Titans game a couple weeks ago showed that both teams might not show up. Jig's been great. I would start Chig or Kraft. That's tough because Chig's been, what, he had 14, 17 targets last week. Seems
Yeah,
like
Chig has had 8 receptions on 10 targets for 59 yards in week 15, and then in week 16 it was 9 receptions on 11 targets for 81 yards, 9.9 and 14.6 half PPR points respectively.
I think what you want to
great
do, I think you want to start either Chig or Kraft, and then Ridley or Reed, because Christian Watson's going to be out and Jaden Reed kills the Vikings, right? I think with the Vikings, especially with the past season, I think you want to put Jaden Reed in. I think he's your must start, even though he had a bad mid. So then it's like, do you want to do Reed and Kraft and go all in on the Packers, which isn't bad, but I'd probably go Reed Okongwu, right? Just
Jaden Reed a must start. It's been a while since we've heard that.
I know.
I like it. I love it. I would subscribe to that. Reed and Okonkwo.
His splits versus the Vikings are crazy. We know the Vikings are a pass funnel with no Watson, right? So it's just, I like he gets a bigger slice of the pie. Reed's been great in the last couple games. Pretty sure. Nathan, you agree there? Reed Okonkwo?
Yeah, that's probably where I lean.
What about Kraft? What's Kraft's last couple weeks? We want to make sure we don't sleep on him.
I can figure that out if you all want to move on real quick.
Okay, great.
This way there's not just dead space in everybody.
All right, Mr. Magic, Darnold or Purdy, 4-point TD. This is 2 great games. This is tough. I'm leaning Purdy just because I don't know, but Darnold, Justin Jefferson, and Addison have just been insane. And you get Hawk. You can throw to Aaron Jones. Nathan, what are we doing? I mean, this is cream of the crop, which is crazy.
This is tough. I think I like Darnold, even though I think the matchup is tougher versus Green Bay and Detroit being banged up and already susceptible through the air.
Close the door.
Oh, good. I just think this Packers-Vikings game is probably my get everyone in game. And I think that it should just be off the wall. And Darnold could easily chuck 4 touchdowns in this one and not bat an eye.
So let's go ceiling. So you think ceiling it's Darnold just because he could throw 2 to Jefferson at he might get that 4. Brock's got that sneaky rushing upside. But who's the better matchup? Would you rather play the Lions or the Packers? I think you'd rather play the Lions.
Yeah, definitely. With all the injuries on that side. And they were already beatable through the air before they started losing guys.
Okay. And then who's got better weapons then? We got Darnold, you pretty much got that Jefferson, Addison. But Purdy, Debo looks like he's playing better, which is nice. Jennings, Kittle's insane. Garando back in the passing game. Ricky Pearsall still. I don't know. Anthony, you want to weigh in quickly? Or Nathan, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I would just say that the Vikings offense is a lot more explosive. Like if you're looking for big scoring potential, it's in that offense. Whereas I feel like the Niners are more stringing together drives, and you hope that it winds up ending through the air for Purdy.
Okay.
But I think it's more guaranteed for all of the Vikings offense to go through Darnold than it is through Purdy.
Okay, that's a good point. And what about game script, right? Would you rather Darnold? What's the spread now? It's got to be close. That Minnesota Green Bay, but Vikings are definitely dogs.
-1.
And
according to ESPN.
And the Niners are definitely dogs to Vikings, but it's in San Fran, right? So both are at home.
Yep.
So this is tough. Nathan, you got Anthony, you got a separator here because I'm leaning Purdy, but I get Darnold.
I'd go Sam Darnold. I just think the offense has been playing better. And they're both probably pretty close, but if you need a tiebreaker, for me, it would be that Minnesota is still playing for playoff seeding and potentially a division, I think, whereas San Francisco's already been eliminated. So that's, if anything, that would be my tiebreaker. And I'd go Sam Darnold.
Okay.
And then just to touch back on Tucker Kraft, make sure we weren't missing anything. His past 3 games haven't been, he's had 5 targets, 2 targets, 4 targets, no more than 63 yards. And he did score in week 14, but he hasn't been great, but he's been fine.
Okay, so Chig Reed. Chig Reed?
Chig Reed.
Chig Reed. Okay, and then here, so you guys are saying I mean, I'm not hard Purdy. Maybe I'm just biased because I got all the Niners that I got to play. So it's like I'm like witching it. But like, yeah, Darnold's been crazy. It's just I think that Packers D is legit, right? I think Jair's going to play. Xavier McKinney gets the pick every game. I mean, I guess Seattle was moving the ball on them a couple weeks ago, so
yeah,
not like lights out, but
yeah, the Packers defense is definitely good. The Vikings offense is just also really good.
Sure.
And San Francisco they do tend to run the ball more. Maybe that changes a bit with it being Garendo. I guess I haven't really noticed the past couple of weeks if there's been a change as McCaffrey and Jordan Mason have both been officially out. But I think Minnesota just the way they play, I think Minnesota just throws the ball more too.
Yeah, I mean, I like betting on Justin Jefferson too, right? I like that. That might do it for me, right? If I can invest in Jefferson, it just feels a little safer. Okay, the real brisk, Flacco or Pickett, right? We got no Anthony Richardson. Josh Downs is playing though, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so I mean, this easy. This feels easy, right? I think I'm going Flacco.
Yeah, this is easily Flacco for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just I mean, I guess I can't say that they have better weapons, but it's just a better matchup. I just think Flacco's the better play.
So what's the worry? Because you got two of the best running backs in the league. Are you more worried about Jonathan Taylor rushing for 200 again, or Saquon?
Saquon, for sure.
Okay.
I feel like the odds of Flacco getting a bunch of volume versus the Eagles deciding to just run it on the ground, especially like in the red zone, if you're looking for touchdowns here, like the odds of Pickett actually scoring, it would have to come from beyond 20 yards out, I would feel. And yeah, we've seen Flacco do it before and turn in QB1 performances.
Okay, so we're easy Flacco, right?
Yeah, Flacco turned in a QB1 performance, not one overall, but like a top 12 performance. Yeah. Even earlier this season, I know his last couple of starts this season weren't so good, and that's probably why they went back to Anthony Richardson. But Joe Flacco is proven even this year that he's still got some juice. Kenny Pickett just hasn't, even with Pittsburgh, I just can't think of any standout performances he's had to trust that in Week 17.
Preseason, but yeah, and then he's also got banged up, so maybe he doesn't even play the full game. But yeah, I think easy Flacco here. All right, Matt, you're back. Asking for a friend, Boone or Blackshear, half PPR. This is gross. Boone, who's Boone? Somebody refresh my brain.
Mike Boone. I'm assuming that they're probably Mike Boone. I've heard that name in a while. Is he on the Panthers? I'm assuming maybe he's trying to pick a Panthers running back, right? I have no idea. Like if that's the case, like I don't know who they might go with. I think Blackshear's kind of gotten some touches this year. I don't know that I've heard Mike Boone's name. So like maybe that's just the deciding factor, but like what a tough spot. Yeah, Mike Boone has seven carries all year. And let's look at Blackshear. Jeez, this is the crappy part about this week is these are your options, especially because you've had Chuba Hubbard, ride you all the way. Probably the best value pick of the year, I think.
Well, is there somebody else that might be on the wire? Well, Anthony looks it up, Nathan. Like what? Right? I mean, Amir Abdullah. You got your crappy Raiders.
Yeah, Abdullah or Madison kind of both played complementary roles to one another, with Madison getting the goal line touchdown and Abdullah getting the receiving work. Not something I'm exactly looking to add here. If I may chime in on Boone and Blackshear, Boone was like a late practice squad ad after Miles Sanders went down, and he got a promotion to the active roster last week, got 7 touches. Blackshear's kind of been with the team for a while, been a return specialist, bit of pass catching work. Boone, I think, has a slight chance to overtake, just like as a veteran, they can hand the ball in the early down work. He got 7 snaps last week. I think they both played 7 snaps actually, or got 7 carries. And I would think that Boone profiles more as like that the early down runner, while Blackshear is the third down pass catching back. So if you're looking for guaranteed volume from this offense, I would probably lean Boone. Whereas the receiving work for running backs in the offense hasn't been good at all. I think Chuba had like four catches for 14 yards in 4 straight weeks or something like that.
Blackshear's only had 3 carries this year, and they came last week. So Boone is probably the answer, but yeah, like if one of the Raiders running backs are on the waiver wire, I'd probably rather go with one of them.
What about like Tyler Johnson, Ray Davis? Would you try and get in on Craig Reynolds on the Lions, getting an explosive offense rather than the start show? All right, he's saying deep league. You got Kenny Gainwell, Mims, Reynolds, Chestnut, only guys on waivers. I mean, I don't know.
Gainwell of that bunch, if you think Philly runs the ball more with Pickett getting a full-time start, if you think they just put it on the dirt a bunch against a bad Cowboys team just to kind of get past them as cleanly as possible.
Because it's like with these two, you're taking a 50-50 shot on these two running backs who might not be good. One might get hurt. Tampa's good against the run. It's like I like Blackshear just because of the name, but it's like, is that what we're doing at this point? So Tyler Johnson's there too, right? I probably would avoid this Carolina Russian roulette. I like Tyler Johnson, man. They're throwing him a lot. Johnson, Gainwell.
Tyler Johnson would be my choice here. I get what Nathan is saying about Kenny Gainwell also, but Kenny Gainwell doesn't have like a defined role like Ty Johnson does. Kenny Gainwell, he comes in when Saquon needs a break for a couple of carries, and he's a fine running back. But Tyler Johnson or Ty Johnson, I don't know if his name is actually Tyler. So Ty Johnson, he's got like a guaranteed specific role. He's the 2-minute back. He's the third down back. I would go Ty Johnson here and just avoid the guesswork in Carolina, who is playing Tampa defense that has given up the 25th most points to running back, which means that they are good against defending running backs. So Carolina might not be able to run the ball at all, no matter who's playing.
Yeah, plus they're a big dog. Maybe they're down, and it's like, why even hand the ball to these guys that nobody's ever really heard of? All right, we're just speculating too. So, all right, Reed Zamora says Garrett Wilson or Ty J. Spears. So we got Tony Pollard out. I think Ty J. Spears is just like the must-start smash superstar in waiting. Like we've just seen this backup running back who's kind of ascending. He gets his spot against a terrible defense like Jacksonville. I mean, I think. I don't know who unless it's like the Saquon or like Jonathan Taylor. I'm playing Ty J. Spears no matter what.
Yeah, I like Ty J. Spears a lot, which is crazy to say to start him over Garrett Wilson, but
yeah,
we saw it when, granted, it was Tony Pollard. When Joey Chestnut was the only other running back available, Tony Pollard got 28 carries. Ty J. Spears has been performing well. Joey Chestnut is the only Julius Chestnut. I keep saying Joey Chestnut like this is the hot dog eating contest. Julius Chestnut is the only really other available running back. Ty J. Spears is going to get a ton of work against a bad defense.
And he's great in the passing game. So check down City. I mean,
he's been explosive the past couple of weeks. We could get the Wilson squeaky wheel game, like I said before, but that's far from a guarantee. Aaron Rodgers loves his guy in Devontae Adams and probably even Alan Lazard at this point. Ty J. Spears is a smash play this week anyway.
But so what's Nathan the argument for Wilson? So like if he was really having a temper tantrum, right? Rodgers feeds him. Bills we know can give up points. Adams also a little banged up too. So if he gets hurt and then Wilson slides into the one, Is it stupid to be playing this guy Spears, a backup running back on a bad team, over Garrett Wilson, who Anthony had as the RB5 going into the season? Sorry, the wide receiver 5.
Hey, he's been good. I think he's top 10.
He's not.
He's not. He was for a while. Oh man.
I like Spears a lot here. Guaranteed volume. He should get a ton of touches against the bad Jaguars defense. Just a lot more guaranteed, right? Like even Wilson could have the squeaky wheel game, but it's just no way to know for sure what work share he actually gets out there. Whereas with Tajay, you've seen him put up 20 plus fantasy point weeks in 2 straight games. It's just hard. And now he gets the keys to himself.
Yeah, big fan. And just the matchup, Jags are terrible running back. And he's explosive. I like Spears well over 100 yards all-purpose, maybe 150 all-purpose, 2 touchdowns. Like the ceiling is the floor. It's upside down world. Let's go. The real question is Mike. Oh,
before we move on, Garrett Wilson, half-point PPR, the wide receiver 9 on the year.
Wow.
Devontae Adams is up to 10 though, and they'll probably flip this week. Like he's not going to finish in 10.
How's he 9? He's had like 45 yards the last like 4 games.
He had a couple monster games. His season has been. It doesn't feel like he's a top 10.
And he started slow. I don't know. I'm going to check those stats. Well, okay. So we got Mike Evans. He's 13 receptions for a milli, 182 for a milli, a touchdown for a mill. How much of that do you think he gets today? All of it?
I think he gets. Yeah. He's definitely getting a touchdown.
So do we have to? What week 8 does Tampa have anything to play for?
I think they still might be on the fringes of in it.
Week 8 playing the Saints.
They're in the division hunt, actually. Yeah, they're in the division hunt. That division, it's between them and Atlanta.
I thought they could lock it up. Yeah. Okay, so playing Carolina. I mean, Joe. What is it? Joe Horn, J.C. Horn. He's solid, but Jalen McMillan's come on. I love Evans today. I'd say A1. I mean,
I'm not surprised if Mike Evans goes for 10, 150, and 2.
Yeah, 10, 152. Yeah. Could he go 13, 180? And, I think laddering Mike Evans, if you're thinking about betting, doing a Mike Evans ladder makes a lot of sense because if they're going for it, maybe they just go for it. And it's obvious, right? So, but
he's also trying to get to 1,000 yards. I think he's only. I'll have to look it up exactly, but he's close. He's definitely within striking distance.
So we love Mike Evans today. That'd be great if he gets all 3. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a Mike Evans ladder bet because Baker's a dog. He'll just be like, yeah, this is my guy. If he's open over the middle, hits him with one bomb. That could be 60-yard bomb and a touchdown. Now he just needs the receptions. All right.
He needs 182 yards actually to get to 1,000. So that must be the incentive for him. I think if he doesn't get it, he's going to come within 50 yards of getting it this week.
It's going to be fun. All right. Mr. Magic says Chig or Hawk? I mean, Hawk's got a great matchup. Chig's got a great matchup. But I think you got to ride that hot hand here, right? With Chig.
I talked about this one in the Discord. Somebody had a question about it. We've actually gone back and forth over it for a couple of days, Chig or Hawkinson. And I mean, Chig is just, I think, the clear answer. Hawkinson's been struggling a little bit. Chig, like you said, has had a hot hand. I think you ride Chig to a championship.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, Hawk's great, but it's Addison's he's right there with Higgins as the top wide receiver 2 in the league. So there's just not that much meat on the bone. If Jefferson and Addison are getting like 20 targets a game. Nathan, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, Nathan, this one's for you. Lonely Stoner 401. Super Bowl help. No Hurts. Do I go Pickett, Penix, or Flacco? Okay.
This is tough. Probably looking to start Flacco here. It's not so tough, I guess. We already talked Flacco versus Pickett earlier, and Penix is in that rain game against Washington. Just too low of a floor to risk there, I think, with Penix in his second NFL start.
What if there's no weather? If there's no weather, would you maybe go Penix?
Probably, just because that game projects very well, or like a high game total if there were no elements involved there.
Yeah, I loved this as a Week 17 game, correlating it for best ball. But I loved this game as a Week 17 matchup, and it's so disappointing to hear that it's going to be ruined by a ton of rain. Or else I would have started Penix, but I think Flacco is the right answer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, the only worry with Flacco is that the Giants are just terrible against everything. But the run, right? If Taylor's goes 7 yards a carry, just give him the ball 25 times. But we saw with the Ravens a couple weeks ago. I thought Derrick Henry would run wild, and Lamar threw for 5 touchdowns. So, maybe they just air it out. It's, week 17. It's hard to know anything here. All right, Buckowski might be no-brainer, but who do I flex to win the chip? Achane or Wilson? It's not a no-brainer because I think it would have been Achane, but now we got bad weather. We got Huntley. I mean, Achane's not much of a runner. He's really doing his damage in the receiving game, right? So if Huntley's not going to get him the ball, I'm leaning Wilson. Anthony, your boy? What do you think?
I'm torn on this one. Because Achane's just been such a smash play.
Yeah.
Essentially all year. I mean, he hasn't hit the ceilings he's hit last year, but I mean, you can't really ask people to score 50 points a week for you. But he's just been so good. But I like that squeaky wheel factor for Garrett Wilson in a game without weather and the starting quarterbacks, and the Cleveland Miami game is just going to be such a mess.
But usually in a bad weather win game, you want to get the running back in.
I know.
Counterintuitive, but
right. And Cleveland is still a pretty good defense. Oh boy, is this any sort of PPR? I would assume it's at least half. Most folks don't play in standard anymore. Lean Wilson for the moment, but I'm going to do some digging and maybe come back to it. But I'll lean Wilson for now.
Nathan, what are you thinking here?
I feel like Achane is still safer. He had 17 carries for 120 and a touchdown against San Francisco on the ground last week.
Yeah.
So if you told me he was getting 17 touches in this game in a wet game, I would probably lean Achane here.
Right. Maybe it's just his size where I'm discounting him, but it's like, yeah, if you told me, with the bad weather game and I had Bijan for the Atlanta game, I'm like stoked. All right, Bijan 30 carries, let's go. So maybe, and also with Huntley, they don't want him throwing the ball, so maybe Achane touch. Yeah, maybe he gets 30. He's just so small, but yeah, this is tough, man. This is tough. I just think that Miami. I think that game's gonna be like 10-7, 9-6. At least Wilson, I think it's going to be 30-24. So I like the points in the Jets game, but we know I don't know, man. We're sorry. Anthony's going to come back with some stats, hopefully.
Yeah. So the Browns defense, me and my home road splits. I'm jumping back to that. The Browns run defense at home is awesome. They give up only like 3.8 yards per carry on the ground. It's going to be a rain game. It's going to be tough, I think, really for anyone to do anything, especially considering how elite the Browns defense is at home against the run. The Bills pass defense at home is also really, really freaking good.
But who have they played, though? I feel like they played Miami with Hunt.
Yeah, well, when you give up 1,000 less yards passing at home than on the road, I don't really care who you're playing.
That's true. That's true. Okay,
so both have really tough matchups. I was kind of hoping that might sway it. But is there going to be any weather in Buffalo? I don't think we've talked about
a little. They said light, low to moderate.
I think
unseasonably warm. 60% chance of rain.
Man, I almost want to just lean the volume of an RB1. He's going to get 15 touches. Garrett Wilson might only see a handful of targets. I mean, this is so hard. I guess I think I'm going to stick with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, me too. I watched that Miami offense with Huntley. It was a joke.
Yeah, that probably is it. That's probably
I'll adjust it. All right, Nathan. So Ray Tam says, so Drake, Neighbors, Spears, pick 2. This should be easy. I also have Achane on my bench. Does he go over Spears? Half PPR. He does not go over Spears, right?
No. Not with all the uncertainty with the QB change and the weather there. Spears is 2 guaranteed. And then I like Neighbors over Drake London here with the guaranteed volume. He should just get as many targets as he can handle again. Half PPR, you're getting value for it. No weather, no inclement weather there. Should be Neighbors and Spears for sure.
Easy, right? So what if the weather was good and Tua was playing? If Tua was playing, you go with Achane no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But no Tua, bad weather. Okay. Anthony, you agree? Easy, right? Neighbors, Spears, cash the check.
Yeah, I'll co-sign that.
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones where it makes it. The weather just makes it easy.
Yeah.
But
Spears is the smash play, and yeah, all the weather and all things considered, Neighbors is probably the best option.
okay. Read some more. Says I appreciate that for the Spears, Garrett Wilson, Spears, but yeah, we said Spears.
Yes, we did.
Close, very close. All right, JJ Witt, Jonnu or Dalton Kincaid? Okay, I mean, again, this is easy. I think everything's just answering our questions for us, right? Well, we're not. Jonnu's been unbelievable, but we're not taking Jonnu with Huntley in bad weather.
I know. I had Jonnu in a championship, and I was once. Honestly, even Tua in bad weather, I probably would still go Jonnu. But Huntley in bad weather, you have to pivot away from everybody. Except again, I'll say it again. Tariq Hill's kind of a line. It just depends on who you've got. But Etienne probably is the same way too. But no, I would go Kincaid, even though he hasn't been very good. At least he's got a good quarterback throwing him the ball.
So Buck Oskey says full PPR, right, for the Etienne Wilson, but I'm not sure that moves it. I mean, because
that has me leaning Wilson a little bit.
More. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, Nathan, it's all you. Dylan Fink, he's always here with questions. Championship, baby, congrats. Full PPR, different leagues, we always, right? All right, what are we doing? So flex, Madison Abdullah. Okay, this is all you.
Yeah, I think it's Madison here. I just don't trust it's a crap matchup, but I mean the Saints offense shouldn't be able to be like a threatening one enough that Abdullah is just on the field more than Madison. I think that we put it on the ground a bit more, and the odds of Madison getting a touchdown on the goal line is exponentially higher than Abdullah running one in. So I like the touchdown upside there, even though it's full PPR. I just think the game's
Madison. You like Madison?
Madison, yeah. I think the game script will favor him versus Abdullah.
And then also we got their plane just got in, so like realistically maybe they get blown out. Passing script, check down Madison, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Matt, okay. And then so now pick one: Miami or Philly D. Ooh, so we got. This is tough because we get Miami with the Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the QB, and bad weather.
I'm all about getting defenses in, like good defensive matchups in bad weather games, because you have like an uncapped ceiling with what is it, Dorian Thompson-Robinson leading the offense in a rain game against Dolphins defense has been playing pretty well too. Yeah. I think I would go Miami just for that mystery box upside if they get a defensive score, strip sack, whatever it may be. Or
Bubble City, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then finish Tampa Buffalo D. Ooh, this is.
I'd go Buffalo. I just think it's a better defense. I would just go Buffalo. They're better defense. The Jets are the Jets, I guess.
Okay. I do kind of like playing Tampa there if you can, or just considering the lack of Chuba Hubbard in the backfield. If Tampa can manage to zero in on their passing defense, on Bryce and just take them out the game.
That's a fair point.
Okay, well, that's all the questions we got, so we're going to wrap up shortly. But if anyone didn't get anything in, jump over to Discord. We will. Someone will figure that out before. But before we go, anyone, what are we hoping on? And like this, what do we need this Sunday, Anthony? You got your $10,000 best ball. What do we need?
Yes, I actually need Tajay Spears to have a really good game. I've got Tajay Spears, Jerome Ford. That weather game kind of stinks now.
That's good for it.
James Cook. Well, true. I really need a Darnell Mooney, I think, to have a good game. My wide receivers were a bit thin. I had DK, who kind of disappointed. Godwin's just been out the whole year. So, surprisingly, he's come through to my finals team. I've got Darnell Mooney again, which kind of sucks. And then I had Michael Wilson. So I could use a big Darnell Mooney game, but really need Baker Mayfield as well. It's a super flex league, so I got Burrow yesterday in, looking for Baker Mayfield to have a big game too, along with a couple of running backs. Bucky Irving I've got. So I think I'm in a pretty good spot. Yeah, no, I definitely have some good players. And luckily, my 2 wide receivers can certainly just be T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and like that's fine.
Okay, Nathan, what about you?
Yeah, it's the same deal. A couple best ball sweats. I got a lot of my most common pieces across my teams are I got the Bucks mega stack with Evans, Baker, and Rashad White,
Beautiful.
and I also have JJ on a couple teams. So big Justin Jefferson fan, big Buccaneers fan today. Just looking for some monster performances from some good wideouts.
Okay, and then just last week we got 2 KO something. Jacobs or Bucky, right? So this is tough because Jacobs workhorse, but bad matchup. Many Rushdie, Bucky, great matchup. Carolina's the worst. Is this easy? We're just going Bucky all day.
How do you know? Who are your other options? Like, can we not squeeze both of these?
Both.
Like, what else? Wait, like I'm assuming this is for your flex spot. Well, it could be your RB2 if you've got loaded wide receivers, but yeah, I think you try to sneak both these guys in. But if you can't, I'd probably just go. It's tough because the Tampa still wants to work in Rashad White. It feels like, even though Bucky is the clear play. Okay, yeah, you're starting Taylor again. Nice. Okay, so this is a choice.
Yeah, you've probably won the title, so congrats.
I think I lean. Oh man, I think I lean. I keep saying I want to lean Josh Jacobs, but then I just think Bucky's just been so good too.
It's just matchup, right? I know it's just Minnesota rush.
Yeah, the
Carolina,
matchup.
We're just the opposite end of the tier. I think it's easy.
Yeah, and Tampa's at home, Green Bay's on the road. Yeah, I guess you lean Bucky, but I don't think you can go wrong with either one. But
that's true.
I'd lean Bucky. I'd lean Bucky, yeah. I can say it again if you guys want.
Okay, that's going to be it for us, guys. So thank you. Thanks for everyone watching. We might do a show next week, some sort of fantasy wrap up if you guys are down.
Yeah, man.
Look,
some people play week 18. You never know.
Yeah, look back to look forward. Maybe we'll do some DFS. Week 18 kind of sucks, but we like pod. You guys like listening. We'll handle questions. We'll figure it out. Maybe some dynasty stuff. I don't know, but all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. We enjoy it. Good luck today. We're gonna need it.